NBC 15 News at 5 starts now.
Good afternoon. Tonight, a 2-year-old boy is recovering after being shot in the face inside an apartment on St. Stephen's Road. The Mobile County Sheriff's Office says the boy was in bed beside his parents when shots rang out just before 1 this morning. NBC 15's Aubrey Spears joins us now. Aubrey, investigators believe this was gang-related. Aubrey, thank you. Now, according to court documents, Marcus Sanders confessed to the shooting inside the Singer Theater on Sunday that killed one man. Handwritten notes on court records say that Sanders confessed to the shooting of Carl Williams after being punched. Now, video clips of the incident obtained by NBC 15 shows Williams approaching a group of individuals in the aisle, and he appears to throw a punch. Just moments later, at least 4 gunshots can be heard in the video. Sanders entered a plea of not guilty to the capital murder and assault charges. A preliminary hearing is set for June 18th. Police in Nashville, Tennessee say an illegal migrant in the U.S. is wanted for a hit and run last month that injured an Escambia County man. Venezuelan national Tony Lopez Infante is accused of hitting 21-year-old Northview High School graduate Zachary Karat on his 21st birthday in downtown Nashville on May 18th. Authorities say Lopez Infante is an illegal Venezuelan migrant who entered the U.S. in August 2023. Our sister station in Nashville spoke with Zach about the suspect. Coming up at 6, we caught up with Zach's mother today outside the hospital where he's recovering now in Northwest Florida. Bay Minette police arrested a convicted felon with drugs and a handgun yesterday. Now, according to Bay Minette police, they observed Anthony Parker sleeping in a car in his driveway. When police approached the vehicle, they smelled marijuana and spotted a loaded firearm inside the vehicle. Parker was detained, and after searching the vehicle, police found 36 grams of marijuana, 80 ecstasy pills, synthetic marijuana, and the handgun. Parker was charged with being a forbidden person in possession of a firearm as well as drug charges. City of Gulf Shores says the inaugural Sand in My Boots Music Fest was a big success across the board. The multi-day country music festival was the 3rd weekend in May, and it brought in big crowds. And now the city wants to hear the community's thoughts as it has been approached to host the festival in the future.
Filling out and selling out in less than 90 minutes really shows that there's a demand for these types of events.
Morgan Wallen's Country Music Fest brought out more than 40,000 people to Gulf Shores.
I think it's great for the local businesses, and it's kind of fills the void there, between spring break and, the summer season kicking off.
In the days leading up to the festival, several roadways around the event were closed, which was less than ideal for residents.
Living out on West Beach, I'd have to, if I was going to town, I'd have to go ahead and fight, the traffic every day getting in. So that was a little bit of an annoyance.
Perspectives like Pearson's are what the city says it wants to hear. It released a public survey May 28th to get feedback from residents and business owners alike, as the city considers extending its franchise agreement with festival organizers.
The 10-year term expired after this past 2025 Hang Up Music Festival Sand in My Boots event. And so the mayor and city council have now been approached to extend this contract or to enter into a new relationship.
Along with releasing the survey, the city is holding a public input meeting Thursday at the Gulf Shores Cultural Center on Oak Road West. Curious to know what's working, what's not, and how the festival could fit into the community's future before a decision is made. But Grant Brown with the city says time is of the essence.
A little bit of a sensitivity on how long they have to make this decision. At some point, the music festival people have to start entering into arrangements with artists and the build and the tents and the stages.
Brown telling me there is not a hard deadline as of now, but saying they need to get an answer to the festival as quickly as possible. Though Pearson says he was inconvenienced by the traffic, he says he wouldn't mind if the festival came around next year, saying he'd cope with it.
Yeah, or I'll plan on being out of town. One of those two.
Yeah. The meeting tomorrow is at 6 o'clock at the Gulf Shores Cultural Center. Survey results will be released at that meeting, and you have until tonight at 11:59 to fill out the survey. Head to our website for a link. A Chinese couple with ties to the CCP is facing federal charges after being accused of smuggling a potential agricultural terror weapon into the country. National correspondent Matt Galka has more from Washington. A recent government report predicted an increase in the deficit in farm goods, so the Trump administration delayed and redacted it. That's according to Politico, citing White House officials. The numbers contradicted President Trump's claims that his tariffs will reduce trade imbalances. Policymakers, farm groups, and traders rely on the report. The reported move raises questions about the potential for political meddling with government reports. The White House says the report's still hung up in review. Still to come, President Trump venting about China's leader in the middle of the night on a social media post. What it says about the odds of the world's two largest economies striking a trade deal to save them from sky-high tariffs. You can stay weather aware by downloading our free NBC 15 weather app. Just search WPMI weather in the App Store or Google Play. Still to come, Iran continues to reject demands that cease uranium enrichment. The latest talks with the isolated Middle Eastern nation. The Defense Secretary plans to skip a big meeting on coordinated aid to Ukraine. Secretary Pete Hegseth's predecessor, Lloyd Austin, created the Ukraine Defense Contact Group after Russia invaded Ukraine in 2022. Now, more than 50 member nations have joined to help give about $126 million in weapons and in military assistance. Now, for the first time since the U.S. created the group, a United States Defense Secretary won't be attending. Yeah, Thomas, it definitely feels like June out there.
Yeah, it was only a matter of time.
Yeah, we've got to watch out for those pop-up showers now. And that'll do it for us. Thanks for joining us at NBC 15 News at 5. Stay with us.
City leaders coming together to speak out against gun violence today. While just minutes away, there was a shooting at an apartment complex. The effort to stop gun violence in the city. A 3-year-old in the hospital with E. coli. The details of a child fighting a dangerous bacterial infection. The explosive fight between President Trump and Elon Musk continues.
Elon and I had a great relationship. I don't know if we will anymore.
The escalating war of words between the two MAGA figures. NBC 15 News at 5 starts now.
On average, 125 people in the U.S. are killed with guns every day, according to Everytown research. Gun violence has stolen the lives from so many right here in our own community. Today, a sea of orange filled Government Plaza, and we'll show you here in a minute. The Mobile branch NAACP takes part in Project Wear Orange each year, calling for individual and collective action to end gun violence. City leaders with a strong message to the community tonight: put down the guns. But as community leaders spoke, shots rang out less than 2 miles away.
Frenika Craig, the victim of the Sage Park shooting. Carl Williams, Sanger Theater, the 2-year-old that was shot in the face in St. Stephen's Woods and Pritchard. Demetrius Wilson, Trishian Williams, Marco Alvarado, Christian Aponte, Angel Espera. These are all people that were impacted by gun violence in the year of 2025.
Community leaders Friday morning making a call to action to end the gun violence crisis. Even the children making their voices heard.
So you see the signs behind us. You see the children that are holding them. We have some children who are no longer with us. And there's no way to describe the senselessness of a child getting inadvertently killed because somebody did something really stupid.
Just 6 minutes into the event and just shy of 2 miles away, authorities responded to the Bayou Plaza apartments after reports of a person shot. Police found the adult male victim with minor, non-life-threatening injuries and was transported to the hospital. Police detained 43-year-old Antonio Lee and took him to Metro Jail.
No, it's not necessarily surprising.
Clopton says gun violence cannot be completely eradicated, but he says if you can change one, you can change the world.
We all have a moral obligation to our community.
The officials all with the same message. The community has to work together through a comprehensive and multifaceted approach to make a difference through things like accessible mental health care, quality education, job opportunities, as well as community-based prevention programs.
We also must have youth mentorship, guiding and supporting our young people, offering positive role models for every step that they take.
I have been seeing things on social media where we are blaming people, we are pointing out people, and the problem is that we have to come together as a community. That's the only way we can solve this.
Urging the community to be the change, even if you haven't been personally affected by gun violence.
It could be on my doorstep one day. We got to be intentional about our efforts and our activities that we put in place for our future generations.
The National Wear Orange campaign was created back in 2013 in memory of 15-year-old Hadia Pendleton, who was shot and killed in Chicago. USA Health was recently awarded $1 million for a gun violence prevention program. Head to our website for more information. A major legal push could soon change how deadly shootings in public places are handled in Alabama. The State Sheriff's Association is now calling on lawmakers to expand the definition of capital murder. Now, right now, capital murder charges typically apply when a killing happens during another felony. But the Alabama Sheriff's Association wants to expand that to include any time someone fires a gun in a public place or event and someone is killed. While this proposal is still just a request, many sheriffs hope it sparks serious discussion among Alabama lawmakers. A 3-year-old Baldwin County boy is in the hospital tonight after contracting E. coli around Memorial Day. After spending several nights at USA Health's Children and Women's Hospital, his parents say he seems to be getting better. NBC 15's Aubrey Spears joining us now. Aubrey, how the boy got sick is still unknown, but his parents worry he may have come in contact with the bacteria while swimming at the beach. A war of words between President Trump and Elon Musk exploded Thursday, and the fallout continues today. National correspondent Christine Frizzell has the latest comments and reaction from Washington. Still to come, a trade deal could be on the way between China and the United States, the thawing relationship between the two superpowers. Tonight, the Department of Justice has announced new charges against Kilmar Abrego Garcia. This is the immigrant who had been living in Maryland for years with his wife and children, who the Trump administration said was mistakenly sent to a prison in El Salvador. Now he's back in the U.S. facing new charges. Here's Christine Frizzell. The Trump administration is asking the Supreme Court to pause a lower court's order to reinstate fired Education Department employees. It claims the district judge exceeded his authority in reversing the layoffs of nearly 1,400 workers and freezing the president's broader plan to dismantle the agency. The judge says the layoffs would cripple the department. A federal appeals court refused to pause the judge's order while the administration appeals. The U.S. and China are set to have trade talks on Monday following a 90-minute phone call between President Trump and his Chinese counterpart. National correspondent Matt Gelka has more from Washington. The trade talks will take place in London, with the U.S. delegation being led by Treasury Secretary Scott Bessent. Today is the anniversary of D-Day. We have a look at the memorial as world leaders honor the heroes of Normandy. It's the 81st anniversary of the D-Day invasion, often referred to as the beginning of the end of World War II. On June 6, 1944, tens of thousands of Allied troops from the United States, the UK, France, and Canada stormed the beaches of Normandy in Nazi-occupied France. Now, according to the Commonwealth War Graves Commission, the U.S. Army lost the most men in the amphibious landings. Some 2,500 American troops died in the beach assault and airborne operations on D-Day. However, the successful land, air, and sea operation was a turning point in the war, and D-Day ultimately led to the liberation of Western Europe from Germany less than a year later. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth is in Normandy today to mark the anniversary. He was part of a remembrance ceremony to honor American and Allied service members, along with some veterans involved in the historic day in attendance. A suspect from Mobile County is on the run, and he's considered armed and dangerous. Tonight at 6, the charges he's facing as police work to track him down. Actor Tom Cruise now holds a Guinness World Record for a daring stunt performed in the latest Mission Impossible film. The Guinness Book of World Records awarded the A-lister with the title of most burning parachute jumps by an individual. Cruise jumped out of a helicopter 16 times while wearing a burning parachute in Mission Impossible: The Final Reckoning. Editor-in-chief of GWR said the star doesn't just play action heroes, he is an action hero. Thanks for joining us for NBC 15 News at 5. All news stories are coming up at 6 o'clock. Nightly news is next.